Hey there, it's Trisha, and I wanted to go over a couple trades I took on Friday morning, November 27th, day after Thanksgiving. Market closed at 1. I just traded in the morning. Volume was surprisingly, the volume was surprisingly there. I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised. So we trade a handful of conservative setups using a couple charts with indicators for confirmation before we ever get into a trade. Definitely conservative, but high probability of success for the trades that we do take. And you can check out the setups if you're interested to get more information at www.easyemintrade.com. And with the setups, you do get 3 days in the education room, which will allow for you to ask questions and see the setups real time as well, which most people find pretty helpful. So here is Friday morning. This is our longer tick chart, and this is our 1 minute chart with our channels on it. And this is the close from Wednesday, low from Wednesday, and this is just a resistance support line that I've drawn in here at 1088. That's a really strong area that has been really strong for quite a while. So anytime we're trading around that area, we've been wanting to pay attention. And then this is the pivot point on the floor trader pivot. So you can see here's the open on Friday, and we do get closed outside the channel, and everything's in line here to take something above this bar here. The issue is that we've got the close right below us from Wednesday, so oftentimes in most cases you have a difficult time getting through there. If you did happen to take that, you didn't get filled above this bar because the next bar never traded a quarter above that. But if you had your order in a quarter above this bar while it's still touching the channel, you got filled on the next bar, and you just had to wait a little while. And obviously you can see that just had to wait a few minutes. Actually, it got right through that close from Wednesday. So again, up to you if you were willing to take that one. I was not. Anytime I have a strong area of resistance above my head or support below me, if I'm looking to take a short, I'm going to wait to get through those areas. I want to be sure that I have enough room. So here, entering in above this bar, you basically have about half a point or 3/4 of a point that you could capture on that entry if it does decide to pull back in that 1084.75 area. So for me, I'm going to opt to get in above the resistance area. So we do get closed above the close of Wednesday, but we're pretty far away from the channel now. So for me, I'd like to wait till we touch the channel again, or and go sideways or pull back or something, just because I don't want to get in when I do have a lot of distance between me and the channel. So if somebody wanted to opt to get in here, fine, but for me, I actually waited till here, and I'll explain why. So you get closed above the close, and the issue is that when we get through those areas, I really want to be convinced that we're getting through those areas. So there's nothing wrong with letting it run and then just taking the pullback. Either it pulls back inside the channel and you can take it when it closes back outside the channel, or you can take it when it pulls back to the moving average, or you can take it when it pulls back to the average in the Keltner channel. So lots of different opportunities to get on board, but want to be convinced that we're going to get through this area. So when we do get closed back outside the channel, that I'm convinced that we're going higher is actually once we get above this 1088. So yeah, I did let a point or so go here, but I felt better getting above this 1088, getting away from this close from the previous day. And when we did get our close above the 1088, we actually got a second close, and that gave us the close outside the channel. So I got in here, and I got a point out of it because basically I got my point, moved my stop to my entry, and then got stopped out here. So worked out fine for me. Obviously, if somebody got in here, they did much better, just knowing that 1088 would have been above their head, and that they might have had a little difficulty getting through. We really didn't. A couple bars and we got through. So that's how I got into that trade. Everything was in line. My indicator is above 20 and rising, the green's above red, so I'm good to take that. And again, knowing that I've got the pivot point above me from the floor trader pivots, so that really was my target. Here's an entry that I took a little later. And this was at 10:01, and this one was at 10:43. So got closed above the pivot point on actually this bar, and this bar we got closed outside the channel. And so entered there, took a while, didn't really go anywhere for a little while, but did finally move. And we know, based on looking at our daily chart and our 60-minute chart, that we do have a strong area of resistance above us at 1098. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you that here in just a second. So got in there and got +1, +2, because once I got my +1, I moved my stop. Once I got my +1, I moved my stop to my entry. Once I got +2, I moved it to +1 and got stopped out. So +1, +2, +1. Now, what I wanted to show you is every day we start out by picking out strong areas of support and resistance on the daily chart or 60-minute chart. Here's a 60-minute chart, and anywhere that price keeps coming up to and hitting and pulling back or hitting and bouncing, that's an area that you really want to pay attention to. So right here is our 1098 area, and you can see that we've got a strong area of support here, we have a strong area of support here, resistance here, resistance, resistance. So you have to take notice of that area. So the reason why I'm pointing that out is, let's say that you didn't get in, when I got in, you decided that you were going to wait for the pullback and then get in above this bar. A couple of reasons why I wouldn't recommend getting in above this bar, and one is that you do have 1098 right above you where you're likely to hit it and pull back, and you also it was a very big bar as well. So again, nothing wrong with waiting for the pullback inside the channel and then taking it higher, or the middle line or the moving average, but you now likely would want to wait to get through that 1098 area, and that is right above your head, so you don't have a lot of room to be profitable. So it's not something that you'd want to take, in my opinion. And it actually, what was the high there? 1098.25. So that's as good as it got, was 1098.25, and then it pulled back. So again, any way that you want to manage your trade is totally up to you. Any way that you want to enter your trade is totally up to you. All I can do is show you how I do it and what I'm willing to do. Obviously, if I would have gotten in here, I would have done much better. I think here, actually, if you entered in above here, again, I was not interested because of how far away we were from the channel. But if somebody did take that, I think they would have wound up being stopped out or very close. I'm not sure. But regardless, lots of different ways that you can enter in using those channels. So I hope you find that helpful. And again, important to know support and resistance areas, just so that you are aware of how much room you really do have above you or below you in order to be profitable. My style is to get through those areas and then look for an entry. Nothing worse than getting into something just under that area of support or resistance, under the area of resistance or above the area of support, just to be sitting there wondering, oh gosh, I should have waited. Shouldn't I have waited? It's not going to go. So I just opt to get through it, and then I'll look to take my entry. So I hope that helps, and we will see you on Monday.